welcome back to Alan T. The time is approximately 3 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour. Let me apologize to the internet audience who might not have been seeing us because we had some technical difficulties in getting the live stream going, but I'm being assisted ably by someone here, and we are going live right about now. Go ahead, Hortensia.
As we continue, Mr. McMahon, I am not hearing you, but we have our conversation to continue. You see, I broke it down a bit more. I know you mentioned it started as this amount of a project and it's now amounted to.
I think one of the individual who brought that subject up to me, one of his concern, and I think it would be a relevant concern, is why spend this large amount of money on this lavish amount of money on a residence? Why 22 million? Why couldn't be 5 million, 10 million? I mean, we're up in the millions. One of the things.
But then we have to wait until we hear the final amount of it, because this is what somebody said. Nobody, the entities that it belonged to are not answering.
Didn't Gonzalez say the figure? Didn't he say a figure?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He said that figure, but can we be sure that that's the figure?
Well, as the caller said, I don't think Gonzalez would put out wrong information. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hi, once again.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back. I summoned you.
Well, that means I'm going to live long. Or longer. I was basically saying that the ballooning of the cost is, I think, what might have triggered the response now, because it seems very delayed, as was mentioned before. I mean, they must have gone through these kinds of things with a fine-tooth comb, I would imagine. It's a central bank, and I would expect that they're not like the government, I suppose, not just here, but in the region as well, who bypass regular procurement procedures, and give their favor to whoever, right? So I would imagine they've gone through tendering and all those kinds of things,
Yep.
okay? And so at the start of the project, things might have been fine, okay? But the ballooning of cost is the problem, right? And it's all well and good to say, where is the central bank thing and not for any one governor? But you have to get value for your money when it's public money. And this can be regarded as public money in the sense of the OECS country's money. You have to get value for your money. You can't just say, well, build this multi-million thing and it's a central bank property, so that's good. It's a good investment and all of that. You have to spend money prudently.
But
right?
don't you think if they were to sell that residence eventually, they could make more than what they built it for? Because it appreciates. It's in prime.
No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Of course, I think the central bank does engage in investment. Okay, we don't know that I don't know how what they decide on what to invest in, but we don't know that investing in real estate like this is in the ambit of the bank, right? And it's quite likely that they might get even better returns elsewhere. We don't know, right? And so what I'm saying is that when it comes to something like this, I would hope, certainly I doubt it would have been the governor's decision to do these things, or to even pay close attention to the progress of the project, okay? But the fact is, he is the governor, and it is the central bank property, and so he's accountable to the Monetary Council and the OECS public on making sure that the money is spent properly. Okay. So Gonzalez is within his right to question this.
Yes,
right? And I would hope that the answers would be forthcoming. And what complicates matters, I think, and this is where this is where it gets ticklish. It is headquartered in St. Kitts. The building is in St. Kitts. It seems as if the contractors and high-level persons involved in management, in managing the project and project management and so on, are from St. Kitts. I don't know if they were OECS bids. But
We have
all of
another.
these being put into.
Mahon, you have another caller with you, okay?
Hello?
You have another caller online with you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. When these things come up, people are bound to raise eyebrows and question things. Okay? And what I see creeping into is the fact that, and you can't just dismiss it as, well, people grudge or it's a political thing and those kinds of things. It seems as if, whether by coincidence or design, that persons are involved are associated with the ruling party in St. Kitts. And that invites scrutiny, okay? Because then things like, back scratching or campaign financing and those kinds of questions start to begin to surface, right? And like I said, it's a regional institution. They should be above board. They should be transparent, and they should be accountable. So we can't dismiss all these things, and all of these things should be investigated, making sure that the project is above board, things were done correctly. If corrective measures need to be put in place, that these are there. I can't imagine a building of that cost is done without things like bonds, performance bonds, and those kinds of things, insurance and those kinds of things. All those things need to be looked at, right? We want to be assured. I am almost certain that the world looked at, and that is why I expect that whatever announcement is made, they've been close-lipped so far, but whatever announcement is made would be forthcoming, and the explanations would hopefully be reasonable, and hopefully this is just a storm in a teacup. But from this distance right now, it seems a very serious issue. And it was interesting that Dr. Joe took the view that, well, it's the Monetary Council guides central bank operations and policy. And right now there's a chairman in the sense of Gaston Brown, as if to suggest that, well, boy, the buck stops with the chairman. He's the one who's supposed to come out ahead of this. I wish that were true in every case, that when things mess up, when there is a mess up, that the buck stops right at the top and it's not shifted up and down the place and to your predecessors and all of that. Okay? Let's go by the horn and deal with the problem. Okay, and I hope that is what will happen here. I mean, we all know Gaston Brown to be a very outspoken guy. So it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with this as well.
Okay.
But
okay.
Actually, it can't be ignored. They can't just sweep this under the rug. They have to come out and say something, and the quicker the better, because if it's delayed, people are gonna get suspicious, and people gonna speculate, and the situation will get worse.
Mr. McMahon.
Yeah,
let's see if we can engage the other caller. There's another caller on the line. Hello, caller.
Caller, go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning to you guys. I couldn't really hear McMahon like that well. I can't really hear it that well, but you guys can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay. Let me put my 2 pence in. Good morning to you guys, and good morning to all the listeners. Good morning to the other caller there, McMahon. And me personally, man, I'm a relatively new person calling into these radio stations. I got interested I got reconnected with the politics of St. Kitts and Nevis 2013. Prior to that, I totally just wasn't even taking on the Federation. But as I get reconnected and I'm hearing a lot of these things that's going on in St. Kitts and Nevis, nobody is being held accountable. The corruption in these two little small islands is through the roof. The question becomes, who is going to clean this mess up? Nobody wants to do the due diligence, especially when they get inside and when they get in power. They promise a lot of stuff prior when they're campaigning, but when they get in, they don't seem to change the real deal stuff that the people are asking them to change. St. Kitts and Nevis is so tiny, but it seems to me like it's the most corrupted place probably in the Western Hemisphere based on size. They are probably way ahead of Jamaica, and we know how Jamaica is. And why it take Gonzalez, who is not the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, to speak up on this institute? I've been told that where this property is located is literally right up there where the Prime Minister lives, in Beacon Heights. And he needs to really come clean and stop acting like as if like he is protecting other people. Because at the end of the day, he is the one that can take the fall.
But caller, don't you think that this establishment or this building that's there had to go before a council before it was started?
Before it was approved.
Exactly. So
these
don't
people, I'm gonna speak my mind this morning.
Okay.
These people, they all probably know about it, but they're turning the blind eye. That stuff is not good. We know corruption affects GDP, and we don't seem to be working in a way to limit the corruption in our small island states. We're talking all these big terminologies about sustainability and all of these big terms. The average citizen don't even understand them words. You know, it's like they're fake to the people. They're fake to the people. They want the people to live an illusion. The money is only staying in certain people's hands in the Federation. It's not trickling down to the working class. And I believe the shareholders or the stakeholders, they should terminate all those people who's on that board in that ECCB bank. They should terminate them and start making examples of these people and make some persons be held accountable. Otherwise, the corruption.
But why are you terminating them?
Subside. Well, whoever is responsible for pushing through that project, whoever is responsible for pushing through that project, they should be held accountable. In my mind, when I saw that building, I thought maybe Jordan or LeBron finally invested some money in the Federation. But to see where that building went up, how come that building couldn't go up in another island? That building could have gone up in another island, right? If that building is gone up in St. Kitts, it speaks to the level of corruption in that place. And it got to get cleaned up, man. But I encourage the Prime Minister. I know he remains good, and he cannot be protecting people. Because at the
caller, excuse. Remember, we don't have all the facts.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to be very careful not to make statements as if though we have the facts.
All I'm saying to the Prime Minister is he got to be treading lightly. He got to be careful. He got to be careful. He's going to be the fall guy when it comes down to the real, when it comes down to the end. That's all the advice I'm giving him. That's all what I'm saying this morning. He got to be careful. That's what I'm giving him as an advice. I'm technically giving him advice. He got to be careful. And that's all I really want to say, man. The corruption got to get cleaned up in the Federation and the wider Caribbean. Poor people are hurting, man. Yeah, thanks a lot. You guys have a good day.
Mark Mahan, you still there?
Yes.
Well, so what do you?
What do you think about his comments?
Well, first of all, it's not as easy. It's easier said than done. I think the board that governs, well, the Monetary Council, it's there that
Good morning.
was set up long ago, right? And it can't be just changed like that.
Hello?
This lady, I don't understand. She phoned
Hello.
me. Hello.
Good morning,
Good
caller.
morning. Good
Miss-
morning, guys.
Mr. McMahon is on the line with you. He was just
Okay.
hello.
McMahon is
thi-
gone.
I think
Okay.
he dropped out.
Yes.
Okay. Morning. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah. Okay, I'm listening, right? And for what I'm understanding, what I'm asking myself, right? From reading, it sounds like Gonzal, like he's surprised at this about this project,
Yep.
and what he's literally saying is that sell the project to the Sinkis government.
Yep.
It sounds like he wants to wash his hand of this project.
Mm-hmm.
So something is not right.
Because
Such building cannot go up in a country and the prime minister don't know about it. And like you said, he live right in the vicinity.
but I don't understand how our prime minister is getting the most licks because it's in St. Kitts. I am speculating, right, that there must have been a body. Remember, these are my views, not views of the bank, not views of the governor. There must be a body
but
that would have
exactly.
said, you can do this. But so what is the fight
Exactly,
now?
he
Is
had
that
to-
it turned out to be too much? What is it?
He had to have permission.
Yeah. So I don't understand
something
why.
is not right.
Yeah, somebody needs to say something soon because we see the bank is tight-lipped and is the governor as per advice, which is a good thing. And I guess when they're ready to speak about it, they're going to speak about it. But this headline is making rounds, man.
Yeah, it's something ain't right. But
Yeah, something sounding fishy.
that's the norm. That's the norm for our country. We always get half of something, and we always hear something in the wind. But another issue that I've been reading, 1,200 fake marriage
Oh yes, I just saw that there
at $8,000 a pop.
with the scandal amounting to 2 point something million.
What you saying?
Yeah, I was just
Remember when Tim was in power, you know? Tim come out and gave, literally, you get married today and tomorrow you had Sinki's citizenship. And I remember talking against that. Tim gave the people, you could get married today and by tomorrow you go down, you had Sinki's citizenship just like that, like you was exchanging piece of bread.
no.
And look at it now. How much fake marriages? How they gonna clear this up?
Next.
And imagine somebody actually gonna confess and say, yes, I was paid $8,000. And when I tried to kiss my wife, she said, no, it's not that kind of a deal. You're getting paid, not a kiss.
It's not that kind of a deal.
Can you imagine? Look, me, y'all, good morning, guys. Good morning. But happy birthday, Miss Henry. God bless you.
Yep.
Yeah, I personally feel that one of the main reason for the concern is the amount of money spent on the residents. I think that, especially when right now the citizenry is going through a bit of a, financial turmoil, and we have the wallet being given out by the government, 250 and
But it's not just our citizenry. It seemed like it's all of the OECS, all of where the central bank serves.
So that makes it even a bigger concern, because then it isn't just the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis that they should be accountable to. It's whoever are under the jurisdiction of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank.
But my thing is, right, and as I said, this is me. This is not the views of WinFM. This is not the views. The central bank hasn't said a thing. The governor hasn't said a thing. They must have known.
So then, are we
Why are they
comfortable?
blaming our country alone and our poor prime minister? Why? Or because he lives up there too and he knows. But he's just one. He's just one of the council. Just one. What happened to the others?
Well, Gonzalez said something. So
Yeah, but the others are quiet. And because it's in our country, because it's in our jurisdiction, because it's located in the same area as our Prime Minister lives.
We have a caller.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Good morning, Katensia. Good morning, Quinn.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Thanks for life and yourself.
Hello?
I just want to weigh. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes. I just want to weigh in on the issue at hand and simply ask: is the Prime Minister of the OES territories, is there a rotation? What is the duration?
Caller, do you have any radio on other than, because you're sounding muffled and like there's a echo?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I was just simply asking, who assumed the role of, as we know there is a rotation that takes place within certain institutions.
Yeah, that's why Minister Brown is now in charge of the ECCU. I think there was somebody that I mentioned in the article earlier that was in charge before.
Fire. Yes. Okay. I know that. Yeah. For real. And then, well, the duration of time, it might be 2 years, but nonetheless, who was the Prime Minister that would have overseen? Because there have to be a collaboration with the Board of Directors from the bank and the sitting person, Prime Minister, who would have held that position for the 2 years then. I'm trying to ascertain who was the Prime Minister then.
When the project started, well, no, who was the Prime Minister that was in charge of the ECCU when it started?
When the project started at hand.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, because the project could have started off good, you know.
Yeah.
But like any other project, any other institution, the forecast might be, well, a delay. And I'm not justifying the $22 million that has been bandied about by Ras Gonzalez. But that is exorbitant a figure. Initially, if it started at 6, hey, one could be reasonable and say it probably would have gone up to 8 or 10.
Okay.
You know, let us be conservative here. But an enormous $22 million, that begs the question. So I would like to know who was the Prime Minister from the initiation when that project started.
Okay.
You know, before I could really go into certain other things that I wish to say. And because there's more in the matter than this, the pestle.
So what do you think about the St. Vincent and Nevis the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister saying that we should buy it and use it as the Governor General's residence or as a tourist stay? What do you think of that? Do you think it would be a good buy, and why should we buy it? Is it because it's in our country?
Jurisdiction, yeah. The buying and the selling of it and so forth, I don't know how much that will play, because it's like the horse already been bolted out of the barn, so to speak. So wherever the buck stops, whoever becomes the ownership of that, like you can say it's a palace, you know, for us in the small regions, it's like a $22 million. And I would not like to see it be sold to Mr. Gonzalez. Would have had a point there, because the revenue that would be acquired from it in the future, it should be St. Kitts and Nevis owned in that aspect. If you're going to have it as a residence for what have you, it should be money that is collected by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, because it's like something already gone bad, and not to tarnish the St. Kitts and Nevis government, but it should be revenue earned. Because I tell you what, if it's put up for sale on the market, those folks out there, those oligarchs going to buy it. You know, and it's going to be just like on the island, you know what I mean, and it's not going to be benefiting the island per se. You understand my logic?
But there are
that suggestion is not far-fetched.
But there are other aspects to this. For instance, if this residence for the governor is costing 22 million. Who's to stop the board and whoever makes these decisions from building an exorbitant mansion for the assistant governor, for the so on, for where does it stop? Not because they have a board and they have people who can sanction something, it means that they should just go and spend this exorbitant amount of money, especially in Caribbean economies where the citizens are struggling. That is what is the question. That is what poses the
And
concern.
I understand that, but
They're very concerned. And I do agree that the resignation, starting from the ECC governor and other resignation, because it's going to spill off into the political domain. But we in the Caribbean, we don't really normally resign like that.
oh, why
So it's gonna be a
why
dark
should the
cloud
governor
that
have
will
to resign
overshadow.
though?
There, you see, Mr.
Because
McMahon,
this scandal calls for anything of this nature, Hortensia.
But
will
shouldn't we get
call
the
for-
details
for-
first before we call for these things?
yes, we should, but also these
Yes.
things should be. We should be given information prior also, so it's a two-way
But nobody
street.
told us when it started. We were only hearing now that it's near completion.
So that's the point.
So I don't. Oh boy! All
So-
right.
So
Yeah,
there's,
but
there's
resignation will have someone is in the responsibility.
But caller, nobody told us. No, listen.
No,
I'm
nobody
gonna speak
told
for
us, but
myself,
no.
right? Let me not include the everybody. I never knew something of that magnitude was being built up there.
neither
I don't go over
I
there.
don't-
I don't look there. I never saw that. No, in recent weeks, well, maybe this week because it's the hottest story, we know that something is up there and it's almost done. It's near completion. So why weren't
Yeah.
why
So
wasn't
that-
the complaints being made before as it continued to build on and the costs continue to go up? Why is it no when it's almost done? So you're basically asking for it not to be completed. If that's the case, I'm not saying you. I'm just talking on the broad heading.
In general.
Yeah.
But,
So
Okay,
because what happened, the $6 million initially that it started as, when they would always cut with concern, because when they realized that $6 million accumulated to $8 million, then $10 million, then $15 million, then $22 million,
because
someone should have already said something.
because Africa, look at it, 6 and 6 is 12.
12.
3 6 you understand?
18.
You understand?
Yes,
So it,
right.
it-
And then it exceeds 18. 3 times. It exceeds 3 times. Someone should have said something along the way.
Yeah,
to
that's
it
why not know that
into
it's
the general
nearing. It's a
public.
big thing. Because what if 22 turns into something more? Because you have to do this and you have to do that. Somebody would have known.
Yes,
Nobody
but
told us.
the final analysis, and it's not complete as yet. So
Exactly.
it might very well go beyond the 22 million.
we have another caller.
Thanks for listening, folks.
Yes.
You're welcome. Thanks for your contribution as usual. Caller, good morning. You're live on LNT.
Good morning. Greetings. How are you doing?
Good. Yourself?
I am humble and peaceful. First of all, let me weigh in on this hidden project that was going on up on that hill. First of all, I, and from my experience in the surrounding, I'm in the United States, when a project is going to be put down in anywhere, there will be a public hearing, there will be a bulletin saying some brief, expressing some brief, so they are transparent. The reason why this project has been going on, and I heard you said, you don't even know what is going on, what was going on, when it started,
Yep.
until it's now clear to finish.
Yep.
Am I correct?
Yes, I said that. You're correct. I was not
No.
aware.
What does that say? Because I'm picking up on it from yesterday when I heard about this. Government are not, and due to the fact of their wheel and deal, which is corruption, that's why these things, and I would not be surprised. Take an example from this one. There are more things going on secretly. Now, this is a question I'm going to ask because I will interrogate the matter. When this piece of land was acquired, how this piece of land being acquired?
What are the deals and the government information went down? What are the survey plans? What are the availability for this to take place? And then what is the zoning and planning unit had? These things are supposed to be transparent. Too much things going on in St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, let me just elaborate on St. Kitts. On dark clouds. And it is wrong, and it's go to condemnation, and the people don't deserve this. Mostly. Now, look at that cost of that building as it, should I say, assumed to be or forecast to be. Hold on. Pick
Let's
a
say
pin right there.
assume, because
Look at, let me just make my brief. Then look at the nation of the people. Look at the standard they are versus a $22 million. Now, is this an organization going to be at the end sustain this building? I'm not talking about maintenance after it's moving forward. But for that cost, I mean, the sky is the limit for anyone. You go as far as you can go, but sometimes you have to have discretion. Okay? Look at the kid on the hill and look at the poor novice peasant on the bottom. God Almighty, man, come on. Where are the empathy? People are suffering, and then the rich is going up top. I'm not talking about the hill itself. I'm talking hypothetically. Come on. The people are suffering. Where are some relief? If the bank could grant that to whom it may concern, due to the fact of their profit, their outcome, where is the compassionate for the people? Where is the nation? Where is
We have
some kind
another
of
caller.
relief? Come on, banks need people money in order to be sustained. Shareholders get involved because it is profitable. That is not a pleasant taste going down in the stomach. And when fish stink, it is stink. I will arrest my case there, but it leave for it to finalize. But there are the empathy. That is my campaign. Empathy for the people.
Yeah.
Thank you for hearing me.
Yeah.
I
thank you,
shall.
caller.
We have another caller. Go ahead,
Okay,
please.
caller, go ahead.
Yes, me again. I would add to that comment. When fish stinks, it stinks. You know the usual thing. When it stinks from the head.
Yes.
And Cartencia, that I think is the problem. I agree that the governor should not resign until this thing is investigated.
Exactly.
At least I think everybody is at the point where they think that this warrants an investigation.
Because
Okay?
why is there?
Uh-huh.
Why is it? Okay, most people are making it like it's he made the decision by himself. He can't do that by himself.
No, he can't.
Exactly.
Right? But I'll tell you something. Huh? Again, it relates to that comment about the fish. In the hierarchy of governance, right? A low level employee may mess up and mess up so badly that it affects the standing of the company. It is not the CEO fault that the guy is messed up, but he is at the top and must fall on his sword.
Yes.
Okay? That's just a fact of life. All right? The buck stops at the top. So the mere fact that the governor probably isn't responsible for this. I don't know. Investigations will show, right? But the fact is, it's a financial institution. Financial institutions are reliant on things like integrity and the absence of scandal and those kinds of things. You can't have that in a financial institution. That's a no-no. Okay? And when that happens,
and a financial institution that governs and oversees other financial
right? Yes,
situations.
you
So
know,
you see
it should be above board. It should be everything should be like squeaky clean, right? Because
imagine that.
they have to set the example. They're the ones who do the regulation and all of that. Okay, and so you just can't have it. And it might be his bad luck, but in the final analysis, that might be the decision that was made. It's bad press. It's bad everything. It's bad optics. It's bad everything. Okay, and somebody has to be accountable for this, right? And most likely somebody said gonna roll, right? I don't know who. I don't know at what level, but I just don't see this just going the genie out of the bottle, so to speak. I just don't see this being able to.
Who was looking over the project all the time, caller? Because it started, right? Somebody knew it started. As I said, I don't go that way. I don't look up there. I didn't pay any mind to what was happening. I'm hardly ever on that side, per se. But why weren't they policing it all the time? Why now that it has become this amount, it's suddenly policed and it's in the headlines and it's leaked and it's this and it's that? Where did they err?
Right,
That's my
exactly.
thing. Where did they
it
err?
it should not have come to this.
Exactly.
Right, but that's the whole point. We don't expect. I mean, we hear this about government projects and so on all the time, right? And we know all kind of subterfuge and ridiculous quid pro quo and so on goes on at that level. And that is why we always appeal for good governance, good procurement practices, right? Integrity, openness, transparency, those things, right? And when you don't get them, right, this is what ends up. You get these classic foul-ups. And the thing is, we expected that at that level, certainly at a bank like that, with such a reputable with such a reputation, that these things wouldn't happen. There would be the shining light on the hill, example on the hill for the rest of how business is done in both public and private thing in the OECS, and to have this happen, it's more tragic than anything else. I feel more disappointment than anything else that something like this can actually happen to the point where it's now the talking point in the OECS, right? And people are responsible for this. People are responsible for this, and if people are responsible for this, they should be dealt with. And so what really happens with whatever investigation happens, it will be interesting to see where the chips fall and who gets the sword for this. Because, I mean, it can't be just business as usual. I just don't see it as being business as usual.
Supposed to be, but just a bit just a bit of a reminder.
Hold on 1 second.
Just a bit of a reminder that we are just going through a whole lot of speculation.
Exactly.
We don't know the facts.
And I keep saying that it's only these are my point of views.
Yes.
We do not have the information. We
do not have the facts.
The caller said that too.
Yes.
Mr. McMahon alluded to that. We don't know.
We don't know all the details.
Yeah.
But what we do know does not sound good.
Yes.
Okay. And the mere fact that somebody hasn't come out front right away and shoot this down and say this what is being speculated and what is being talked about is nonsense. The mere fact that that has not happened suggests that, well, somebody is investigating something and they're preparing something for us. And so, yes, but in the meantime, we have to hold the feet to the fire. No, we have to hold the feet to the fire and don't just let this blow over as if nothing ever happened. Okay,
well, we don't do that.
And by the way,
we talk for 9 days and then this talk is going to disappear.
And that is what we don't want.
Let's engage the other caller who has been waiting patiently.
Go ahead.
Yes, how are you, man?
Good.
Yeah, man. I just want to really thank McMahon, man, for his commentary, and Miss Sylvain. Everything what McMahon is saying this morning, bro, and days before and months before, this stuff is really disappointing, man. This is just another scandal. It's coming straight from Ralph Gonzalez's mouth. It's a scandal again, another scandal that we are facing. We spoke about the previous administration, about scandals, and here we have a new administration racking up scandals of their own. When is this stuff is going to slow down? What I see about the leaders down in our islands is that they don't really care about the people. They are rallying for projects to come because, however, they can siphon off that money and get them paybacks. That's what they're rooting for, new projects to come. If I really had it my way, I would ask the people in the Federation to go in the street and protest peacefully. Protest, put the halt to all of the projects.
Caller, whereas I hear you, we have to be very guarded in terms of how we express. Because to say they're looking for something to siphon off, that I don't think that is called for. We're not sure. It's a whole lot of speculation.
Undoubtedly, the money is disappearing, though. Undoubtedly, the money is disappearing.
What money?
They have crossover. They're having a lot of crossover runs on these projects. This project here, they said, was started at 6 or 11 million, and ballooned up to 22 million. But let me interject something.
Burl, you want to listen to what Mr. McMahon has to say before you continue?
Yeah, sure. He's my elder, and I will. That's who I just mentioned. Go right ahead, man.
Okay, you suggested earlier that the whole board, well, really as the Monetary Council, should go. I don't think it's as simple as that, in the sense that, this Monetary Council was set up by laws and so on. And so they can't just go like that, right? If it's set up so that the ministers of finance, for instance, are the ones regulating it, and someone of the prime minister is
okay,
the
callers, we will have to cut in 2 minutes because we have to prepare for the upcoming program. Okay,
well, let me just make one last.
I'm just saying that it's not as simple as that. But I do agree that it calls for some kind of investigation, and let's see what actually comes out of this in the end, and hopefully it's for the betterment of the institution and all concerned, even the individuals concerned. That the important thing is we do something about it so that it doesn't happen again in the future. I think that is the bottom line.
Okay.
And I totally want to agree with the closing statement by Mac Mahon there. And also, I want to close out by saying the Kim Collins Stadium is not completed in 1 year. The kids seems like they're going to be going over to Nevis for that event, that meet again. And here we are having such a lavish building to appease one person, and we're not investing in the kids in the sports. Thanks a lot, man. You guys have a good day. And happy birthday to me.
By the way, Bob, the current chairman, Gaston Brown, I think is reputed to have said how things work in terms of the politics in the region, in terms of how projects are brought in and some are creamed off and so on. He's on record. I think he was the Prime Minister on record as saying that is how the politics work. And maybe we have to dig really deep and end that kind of quid pro quo back scratching thing.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's the root of the problem.
Let's wind
all right,
up.
thank you both.
And
have an enjoyable Friday. Happy birthday again, Miss Henry. And thank you for your contributions as usual. And this is where we have to end Island Tea for today, Friday, the 7th of March. Miss Henry, continue to celebrate well. I'll go celebrate with my hubby. And for all others celebrating, once again, a happy birthday on behalf of all of us here at Island Tea. Have a great day. Thanks for listening. See you on Monday.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't want to run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with Win FM.
Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster! Bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster! Live in full color. Buster!
Let's Get Real on Win FM. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's Get Real, Wednesday nights at 8 on Win FM. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed, bringing you insights, the hottest topics of the moment, and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. Real Talk with Lavi covers all. Let's Get Real, Wednesday nights at 8 on Win FM.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.